How's it going, Hodlers? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Cardano. Now, I have been gone for a little bit. As you guys know, I was on a bit of vacation, so did some posts and everything else, but the videos are going to be coming back as regular as they have been. So usually daily, we're going to go market updates and everything else. We have a whole new schedule coming out in the next couple of days to weeks, so stay tuned for that. A lot of big things are going to be coming for the channel. But first off and foremost, we're going to be talking about Cardano. So let me just switch my screen. So looking at Cardano now, essentially what had happened before I left is we were holding around tight the $1.50 mark, that barrier of support that we've been discussing. Now, we had been flirting with that barrier for a little bit and then dropped down because Bitcoin dropped and everything else kind of tanked with it. So that is fully to be expected. Now, again, we've talked about how Cardano holds these high lows. So we did see that this wick did get a little scary, bringing us down to a sub $1 ADA for maybe a short period of time. Just barely, it looks like. And again, this is the Binance Tether pair. Now, where do we expect Cardano to go? So just looking at the charts right now, obviously we can expect everything to just trade as it is. This is how Cardano has held. Usually it just trades the level and then eventually moves up when things have re-engaged. And we do see that we have a lot of volatility in the crypto market with Bitcoin and all the news with China and everything else. But at the end of the day, I do think everything is just FUD at this point. I don't think we should look at all of this stuff and be really concerned about our investments because we know it's a solid project and we know that there's a lot of investment demand for it. One big investor that has moved into Cardano at a great speed is Grayscale. Grayscale's top 3 holding is now Cardano, so second to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is huge. Now, 4.26% is not a lot, but at the same time, when you look at it compared to the other ones, Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, it's obvious why it's at that almost 5%. Now, could it go higher? Sure. Is this what most portfolios probably look like? I would argue that most people probably have a similar ratio. Bitcoin is around 67% of their portfolio. Maybe Ethereum's 25%. This isn't for me because I'm not really a Bitcoin maximalist, but I do know that this is probably like a safe route to have exposure in the space, especially when you're talking about Cardano itself. But I could see that eventually they might increase this allocation as time goes on. Maybe they trade Bitcoin for more Cardano, but either way, this is hugely bullish, the fact that it is their number 3 holding in their total portfolio. This is going to drive a lot of investment demand for Cardano, and we know that it is a completely solid asset. There's a lot of fundamentals that make this product really valuable, and it's going to really help a lot of financial services, especially the financially unbanked. Another big thing is the 30 billion of ADA is now staked in anticipation of the Alonzo smart contract update. So obviously we've been in testing. Alonzo is coming and underway, but staking is a great way to earn passive income, especially when you're talking about Cardano, when you have a nice bag. So obviously hold your Cardano, stake it in the pools. Now, obviously, investors are pretty bullish on the fact that we could be getting smart contracts for ADA within the summer. And again, I've discussed this before. I'm totally okay if we go through this summer lull and then pick up the bull market in the winter. No skin off my back at this point. It's more time to accumulate. Now, I did mention before, and some people are probably going to be asking at this video, is in a time to buy Cardano? Is now a good time? Arguably, all these dips are always a good time. Anytime you see a wick like this, that's when you start, searching out the sofa and trying to get as little change as possible just to buy Cardano. But at the end of the day, where is it going to go? It's going to go much, much higher than this. Maybe this bull market, I like my target of $8. I feel like that's fair. Low end, maybe $5. But when you look at the long term in the grand scheme of where Cardano ADA could go, it really could increase a lot. You could, in the future, in the next couple of years, see a $20 Cardano. I don't think that's completely out of the realm of possibility because we know it's a solid project, solid team backing it. Everything about the project is going to increase the value, especially when we get smart contracts. We're really going to be able to see that. We see the big commotion about DeFi right now. Everyone's getting involved with DeFi, liquidity pooling, and everything else. And it's just the next frontier for financial services, and especially when you're talking about cryptocurrency. So again, would Cardano be a buy? Well, I've said this before, and I think any Cardano at this point below $1.50 is absolutely buy. And then anything below our support line here, we see the support line here at 26 cents. So at this support line, I would probably say that this is also a good time to buy anytime we're below the 126. So if you want, you can start DCAing if you haven't been already, and just DCA while we're in this zone trading up here. Maybe stop DCAing back when we're up above $2 essentially, when we're more at the fair market value. before we go ETH and ADA, we are going to look at ADA BTC. Cardano did end up going through a bit of a pump when it hit January, pumped up against Bitcoin and then dropped. So if you see this, drop here, this is when Bitcoin went on its tear, going up to around 62K and, hitting all-time highs at that point. So obviously we're going to see the value go down for Bitcoin and Cardano when Bitcoin is pumping and Cardano isn't. So Cardano was trading level. It wasn't doing anything special at this time. There was a lot of frustration, the fact that Bitcoin was going, the fact that Ethereum was going and everything else, and Cardano wasn't. Well, then what happened is Cardano did end up pumping against Bitcoin, but essentially that was all because of a Bitcoin dump. And we've discussed this, that when Cardano just trades level on the USD chart and is just trading level on the value, it's going to hold better in times of turmoil, so times of Bitcoin dumps. So what happened is Bitcoin dumped and Cardano ended up shooting up. So if you look at the Bitcoin chart, so here is what I'm talking about. Bitcoin did go down here, and then obviously Cardano ended up pumping against Bitcoin because the value is different. But now we are just trading level, which, isn't uncommon, essentially for Cardano and Bitcoin. Cardano did end up, eventually succumbing to that dip up here, the one that essentially we missed. Bitcoin dropped, all the other cryptocurrencies dropped, and kind of Cardano pumped back up and was fluttering around with that number. But, eventually something's got to give when there's so much FUD in the space. There's a lot of, bad news from China and Elon Musk tweets and everything else. So at this point, it is what it is. I think everyone's kind of getting a little bit desensitized to how all the news is just focusing on certain things and crashing the market. And I hope everyone's getting desensitized to Elon Musk at this point, because holy. And then looking at the Cardano Ether evaluation, we've discussed this chart before. So we did make our breakout here of our descending pattern, and we'll remove this because it's been now a few weeks that we have last looked at that, and we're not analyzing this anymore. So we do see, though, that we are trading level, and we do see that our all-time high is still completely out of reach. But the reason why our all-time high is out of reach is because of the massive pump back in 2017 or 2018, where we really didn't have much trading data for Cardano. So we couldn't say one way or another where it was going to go, how high it would go. It was complete speculation. Whereas now we have a little bit more fundamentals, so it's not as speculative as we thought before. Now for this, you're looking at market capitalizations. You're not necessarily looking at the price of the token. I know often people will be like, well, this token is more or whatever. You all have to look at the percentage of increase. So right now, Cardano is sitting at a $43 billion market cap, while Ethereum and Bitcoin, they're sitting at around almost an $900 billion dollar market cap together. So Ethereum would be at 246 billion and Bitcoin would be at 631 billion. The total crypto market cap sitting right now, according to CoinGecko, is $1.4 trillion, up 5%. And that's obviously been hacked a little bit after the massive drop, and a lot of people have been a little bit scared of that drop. If we take a look at the total crypto market cap before we end off this video, we do see that we did suffer this drop, but we're not quite back to the levels that we hit back in March. So again, what I'm looking at for this, I'm looking at a line of support, and how you determine that is you look at the lines of resistance. So you can see here that we got rejected at this level for the total crypto market cap there. We did go down, and then we started flirting around with it, and then finally we just broke up, and then once we broke up, we just went right up, and everything went bullish from there. And then obviously things changed and news came out and we started having a bit of a drop, but that doesn't mean that we're concerned, or it doesn't mean that we're outside of a bull market, but we're not really done with this market cycle. I do think when we're looking at market cycles and when we're looking at the long term, you really have to put it in perspective on what is going to happen over the next, not so much weeks, but maybe months to even years. And I've even said myself on this channel, and I know some people agree with me and some people probably don't, is that we'll most likely see the bull market re-engage in 2022. I know a lot of people said, well, we're obviously going to see a market peak in 2021. And you know what, if you want to call what we went through a market peak, sure. But if you look at previous bull markets, I don't think that this is indicative of a market peak. And even if it is, I can't see us crashing much lower than maybe a $26,000 Bitcoin. So just to wrap this all up, put a nice little neat bow over it all, We do have Cardano currently sitting at $1.36. We do know that Alonzo is coming out with smart contracts. That's something that we have anticipation for the summer. We do have Sunday Swap doing a bunch of new stuff. I haven't looked into a lot of their stuff, but I've been getting tweets on my phone, so I got to take some moment to take a look at Sunday Swap and see what they're doing. So just to cap off the video here, Grayscale, the third largest holding, is Cardano. Alonzo smart contracts are coming out hopefully in the summer. And Cardano is sitting at $1.36 and is most likely still a buy even past this point, maybe even to $1.50, $1.75. I wouldn't be sleeping on Cardano. I'd absolutely be adding to your bags if you are able to, if you don't have a big enough bag. And just keep an eye out for Sunday Swap and what that's going to bring, because I think DeFi coming to the ADA system is going to be extremely valuable, especially when we look at how much money is being made in DeFi. It's almost the next step for Cardano. So as soon as we have smart contracts, we're going to be seeing these dApps flush out and start building. That's it for me, everyone. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Hopefully this helps everyone's perspective on where Cardano is going to go. Hopefully nobody sold any Cardano, especially at a loss, but hopefully nobody sold any over the last little dip. But that's it for me. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and happy hodling.